Welcome back to Arderwood Farm. Celtic Cowboy here, and it is the middle of summer in August. It's hotter than hell's doorstep. We reserve this time of the year for making cheese. When we milk the goats, the early part of the year, all of the milk gets frozen and put into a freezer downstairs, and now is a perfect time in the air conditioning to make some cheese. So we're gonna make a Gruyere cheese. It's an old recipe from France and Switzerland, and it's a long aging, hard, dry cheese. And lots of you have been asking to have a look at how we do it here at the farm. So this is it. Welcome along, and just comment if you would like the recipe or if you have any questions. Thanks. The first step of the process now is to warm up our milk. For this recipe, we're using 6 gallons of milk. For those of you who don't have access to raw milk, you can use pasteurized milk from the store, but do not use ultra pasteurized milk, and do not use milk that has been homogenized. So non-homogenized and just regular pasteurized milk will do the trick. We need to take this milk very, very slowly, increasing the temperature till we reach 90 degrees. See you back here. Okay, so it took about a half an hour here, but our milk has reached the 90-degree mark, and we're going to add the cultures specific for this cheese. The first we're adding is a packet of thermophilic culture. We gently sprinkle the culture all over the top of the milk like that. And then the second one we're adding is 1/32 of a teaspoon of probionic Shermani. So 1/32 of a teaspoon is pretty small. It's known as a smidgen, I think. So anyway, we're gonna do exactly the same here and sprinkle it across the milk like that. We're gonna let that constitute on the top of the surface for about 1 minute. Then we're gonna mix it into the milk. We're going to cover the saucepan then, and we're gonna let this sit for 60 minutes. I'll see you back here then. Okay, well, it's been an hour. Lifted the lid off, and temperature is still right at 90 degrees, and it's time to add the rennet. So the rennet, it's an animal rennet, and what it does is this causes a separation between the curds and the whey in the milk. If you are using a pasteurized milk as well, you would add some calcium chloride, which helps create the curd that we're looking for. So I'm gonna mix this in just for about a minute. Make sure you've got a good mix throughout the process. And you're gonna let this sit now for 30 minutes for the curd to set up. Okay, so we've let our milk set and coagulate now for the time, and we want to now make sure that we've got a clean break in the curd. So when we stick the knife in and pull up, we should get a clean, even separation in the curd. And that's exactly what we have. So now we want to go ahead and cut the curd. The curd needs to be cut into about 1-inch pieces. So the first we're gonna do is come across here and put our knife down through, and we're gonna cut all the way across the curd, and we're gonna do that in 1-inch strips. And we're gonna go back the opposite direction and cut again. The next thing we're going to use is this device here, which cuts the curd now on the horizontal. So it just simply goes down and we move it through the curd like this. And now we're going to let the curd sit and to heal for about 1 or 2 minutes. We have our curd cut sufficiently. And now we're going to heat and cook the curds. So we want to increase the heat all the way to 116 degrees over the next 30 minutes. Okay, so we successfully cooked our curds up to the temperature 114. I think I said 116 the last time. It was 114 degrees. As you can see, our curds have all now gone to the bottom of the pot, but we want to check to make sure that they're all evenly cooked. If you break one open and it's like really gooey, slimy kind of thing, that's not cooked. So you want to have them like this, and when we break it open, then there is no gooiness inside. With that being done, the next step in the process is to drain the whey down to the level of the top of the cheese. So we just put in a strainer like this and we start draining off all of the whey, and then we'll get to our next step here. So now you can see we have removed the whey to the level of the curds, and we started off with 6 gallons, and I'm at like about 1.5 gallons of curds, and that's how much you waste when you add this process. Now we're going to pre-weight the curds under a 10-pound weight before we take them out of the. Next step of the process, we need to drain the curds. Just going to take them out of their pre-consolidated pieces like this and drop them right into our straining basket with butter muslin cloth. And just make sure, as you're working with any cheese like this, that is going to be a long aged cheese. So your hygiene and has to be pretty perfect. So everything here was boiled and steamed before it was used. Okay, so with our cheese now pre-drained, we're going to move them into our cheese molds. So I'm using a large one. I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to fit in what. I was thinking of doing a small and a large. We'll see how it goes here. So I managed to fit it all in one of my large cheese presses, and we just started the process here. So these molds have little weep holes all around them and on the bottom, and we're going to start off with 25 pounds of weight, and we're going to keep working this up all the way to 100 pounds of weight, so we can get a really good consolidation, as this is going to be a dry, long-aged cheese. Well, there we have it. After 100 pounds of weight on the cheese press for 24 hours, this is our finished wheel of cheese. So it looks fabulous. It now goes in the brine for 24 hours and then into the cheese cave. The next time we see this will be about 14 months or so from now. They said we can try it about 9 to 14 months, so we'll see how long my patience is. We'll see you on the next one.